Hey there, my fellow zombie survivors. Rhadamant here. Thank you for tuning in to Rad's Guide to Project Zomboid. Episode 23, Lights Out. I don't recall whether or not I have a shovel at home. I know I have some sort of trowel or shovel, but I don't know which it is, so I'm going to grab the shovel too. Because I don't differentiate between the two in terms of my loot finder. But something that allows you to move dirt for farming. So Sledgehammer and Machete. What a run. Getting both. Now we are at a new fuel station. Let's see if the power's still on. It is. Because otherwise this pump wouldn't work. So I have 2 gas cans in the trunk that need refueling too. And while the power's still on, it might be worth going into the gas station to grab whatever food I can find. Because when the power goes out, ice cream is going to get gross, and eggs and milk and all that stuff that might be good now won't be good for very long. Before I go in there, I want to be a little bit more rested. My exhaustion went away quickly. Phone booths are also decent electrical level ups. Oh, these ICs are empty. The whole place seems to be locked. Not super interested in having to like fight a lot more zombies, so I'm just gonna, rather than walk around the back where there might be more zombies, I'm just gonna break in. There wasn't any zombies like immediately close, so I don't think I'm gonna get swarmed. At this point, I've gone through a lot of the ice cream that I had access to, so keeping my body weight up, having soda is not terrible, because it's pretty caloric. It has no proteins or fats. It's pretty caloric, and it can help. The nutrition in this game is horrendous. Alright, so there's a zombie in the maintenance room. Disappeared. I'm pretty encumbered, so I don't want to have to fight too much because I'm carrying loads of soda now. No, it's just a tiny little closet. Oh, that's a lot of vitamins. I always love the vitamin aisle of these gas stations. And a ton of things that will... Gas stations full of junk food. So if you want to be healthy, don't shop or don't loot gas stations. But usually I have trouble keeping weight on rather than taking weight off. Unless you're making a whole bunch of like vegetable stews from farming, you're probably going to be underweight quickly. It's odd for me to be leaving cigarettes behind. The smoker trait that you can take is largely seen as like free trait points because it doesn't make you any worse at cardio, your fitness. All it requires you to do is to periodically smoke cigarettes, which is like not a big deal when you can loot hundreds of them relatively easily. But I'm not a smoker, so I don't really need to go and take all the cigarettes I find. But yeah, I was right. The stuff in here is still pretty fresh, except the milk. And all of it will be ruined very soon, so... Maybe not the rotten food. I don't have composting going yet back at base for farming, so I'm not going to bother with picking up rotten food. It's not necessary. That was a surprisingly lucrative run. And I'm not sure I've ever had a run where a carjack was the last thing I needed. All right, let's go. And as I mentioned before, I'm not going to take the back roads out because I had to hit a bunch of zombies on the way in, and you know, every collision with zombies is damage to the cars. Actually, I forget what kind of building this is. This is... Oh, that's the bus station. Yeah. Yeah, look at all those zombies around here. Veritable swarm here. What would stale milk taste like IRL? Bad. Shonky. So we have looted the gas station. Mark that down. I think all these zombies are here mostly because there's a drive-in theater around here. They probably are condensely spawned around the drive-in. Like, it's the end of the world, let's go to the drive-in and, you know, die and become zombies or something. I don't know the logic there. It's something like that. So, my best guess is, after midnight, we will not have power. We've already been getting the power fluctuation warnings. That seems pretty reasonable. None of these zombies have loot on them. That one, I think, has like a knife in his back. Where's my turn? What about this road? I forget about this road. No, this road doesn't take me up. There is a dirt road that I can take. And maybe I'll just demonstrate the dirt road path, because it's a thing that, like, you can kind of go off-roading. The advantage of off-roading is generally, not always, when you go off-roading really early on, the paths are relatively clearer. So the way it works is things like trees and bushes regrow over time. And dirt paths, like off-roading paths, get overgrown the longer you play. So if you use off-road paths early on, they're pretty traversable. But as the months go on, the bushes and trees take over, and the dirt paths, like this one here. So this is a utility pole clearing, high tension line clearing. These, because it's so wide, generally don't get overgrown. They might get some saplings and some trees in the way, but they're pretty easy to avoid. The reason I wanted to demonstrate this is how poor certain vehicles run off-road. So like I'm going 15 miles an hour. So like fast enough to outpace a zombie, but certainly not getting anywhere quick. And some rare points of interest in the game are only really accessible through these off-road paths, and they get overgrown pretty quickly. So actually, near Rosewood, there are two such. One is paved, the prison, the Rosewood Penitentiary. That one has actual roads, so you'll be able to drive there no matter what. But there is a hidden army base around Rosewood that you have to use dirt paths to get to. And if you go on day 0, like you can kind of drive there. If you go on like, let's say month 6, you're going to want like a wood axe to be able to cut trees, because the path there is going to be completely overgrown with trees and stuff. And walking it, you could do, but if you're looting the army base for guns, you're only going to be able to walk out with what you can carry. Whereas bringing a vehicle there obviously increases your capacity considerably. So just keep that in mind, that some things become somewhat impassable as time goes on. But I took this path just because it's, as the crow flies, as you can see, it's a little bit shorter than driving out to this main road to get back to the front entrance of Rosewood, which doesn't have as many zombies to bash my hood. And it was just a good way to demonstrate the traversal speed of off-roading. But you don't move. Some cars handle this a little bit better, like pickup trucks. The high horsepower to weight, like heavy-duty trucks, can off-road a little bit better than this news van. But it is a, no matter what vehicle you choose, it's usually goes about this smoothly. But it's not bad. You know, there's nothing in my way. My car's not getting damaged. And I'm not too concerned about fuel usage, because obviously it's because I'm driving longer, it's going to use more fuel. You know, the collisions with those zombies, I think my hood was at 82%. Wasn't that bad. The windshield is at 63%. The windshield here is, the front windshield is probably the most damaged. Rear windshield's also 70%. Most of the damage in this car is just like seats and things that are not a big deal. There's one front left driver's side suspension which could use replacement, but for the most part this car is remarkably good condition. Some headlights maybe replaced. It's not bad at all. You can't, in default Zomboid, you can't modify the appearance of cars. Apart from like taking parts, doors off and wheels off. Obviously you'll see that, but the radar dishes on the roof stay there. There are a lot of mods that adds modifiable cars for like roof racks and cow catching grills and armor and the like, but and years ago Zomboid teased that such mechanics would eventually be introduced. I don't know if that's still in the development plan. I'd imagine it is, but I have no idea. Andy Stone develops at snail pace, so I remember in one of their dev blogs there was a concept art of an armored vehicle, but that was like 5 years ago or something. Like, it was a long time ago. So, I don't know when, if and when that will ever be introduced. I'm going to turn on the air conditioning. My character was a little warm. They're moist. So yeah, I would definitely have gotten home faster had I either just plowed through the zombies that were on my way on the back roads or gone the main highway route. Because I only really traveled at like 15 miles an hour on that whole path, which is dreadful slow. There's one other thing to add, which is the trait Sunday Driver. There's two traits that affect driving speed. There's, but the one that affects you from going slower is called Sunday Driver. And I would highly advise avoiding that trait. The reason is it only gives you one trait point, but it makes you drive even slower, which is really painful when you're trying to drive off-road. Or towing things. It basically makes towing impossible. Because it's not that you drive slower, it's that like the torque of your vehicle is like ruined. So if you hook something up to the back of your car for towing purposes as Sunday Driver, you're just not going to be able to move it at all. It's real bad. It's one of the worst traits to take if you like vehicles. Now, if you plan on living in a giant city and not using vehicles, then it's free points. So there is the caveat of like, if you don't intend to drive ever, do whatever you want. But by that same token, I don't find Speed Demon, which is the inverse, all that helpful either, because it makes your vehicle much louder, especially when you're in reverse. So if you take Speed Demon and you throw your car in reverse for any reason, you're going to draw a lot of zombies to you as well. And on average, you're just not redlining your vehicles. Or I don't, at least. So the extra speed that you get from Speed Demon only is not generally useful and just makes your car louder, which is not great, in my opinion. Unless, of course, you want to use your car to lure zombies to you. I guess there is the edge case that might not be true. What did that guy have on his back? Shotgun? Oh, just a knife. Hunting knife embedded in his chest. That's a pretty good run. Ah, Mr. Duffel. You, sir, are not invited to my home. Trespassers will be crowbarred and stomped until dead. Other than portable generators, are there other ways to power an area? No. The only source of power you've got is the generators. Oh, I left the radio on again for the 50th time. I'll get it. I would love to see the game update with like either so for water, there are areas of the map that have wells that are a source of clean water when the water goes out. And then, of course, if you live near a lake or a river, you can just take water from the lake or river, but you'll have to boil it. And my point is, I would love to see a situation where there are, like, wind turbines, maybe. Because this is 1993, so there's not going to be a lot of solar in rural Kentucky in 1993. But, like, a windmill or wind turbine was rare, but, like, would exist. And it'd be cool if there was a few points of interest on the map that had stuff like that. That would be neat. At least for now, it's just backup generator or nothing. There's nothing in between. I guess most of the perishables that I had, I've either eaten or they were rotted and I didn't grab them. No, I have so much more food to put away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the sledgehammer out, because I intend to use it tomorrow, or soon. Maybe I'll use it tomorrow, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to get to the catwalk remodeling that I intend to do. Because that requires me to read, like, the entire book, bunch of books, in fact. Did I need this shovel? I maybe did. I don't see the other shovel. I thought I had 2 shovels. Oh, it's okay. It's in my farming shelf. Okay, so I didn't need the shovel. Shovels aren't terrible two-handed weapons. They have pretty good range. So they're not awful to kill zombies with. And they do pretty good damage. That's the big one, is like, does it do a lot of damage, yes or no? Because there's a lot of weapons like that either break way too quickly to be decent to use. So like sports equipment tends to break really fast, like hockey sticks and lacrosse sticks and the like. You'll swing a few times and it will be broken. Same with instruments, you know, like if you find guitars or whatever. As you can imagine, guitars are not designed to be all that hardy. So stuff like that is terribly unreliable for combat. And then there are some tools that just also break rather quickly. A lot of the one-handed sharp stuff breaks very fast as well. So if you like knives and the like, you go through a whole lot of them before you get to kill anything. Or a lot of things. Where did I put my other milk? I don't recall. But milk is used in farming, so I usually keep it in the farming shelf. And then I have this gas can that needs to get moved upstairs. And so that I can clean up all my periodicals here, let's put this down. Okay. Dog treats. Hey, bud. You just noticed the teddy on the bottom of my bed? Yep. Someone's got to keep me company. I don't want it to be zombies. Alright, the power is still on. As you can see, the parking lot lights are way beyond the sphere of influence of my generators, and they're still running. So if you're wondering about power rate, I left this on all day long, and it's used about 7% or so. So, you know, like 2-ish weeks, although I wouldn't push it to its very limit, but about 2 weeks of per fill up, which is not bad. Would PvP work in this game? No, not really. I mean, it exists already, but the player does not have a lot of... It doesn't have a robust system for PvP. So if you have very organized PvP, where like the server is like, all right, you may only PvP for this 1 hour a week during this very specific time frame, you could like make it work. But without those server enforced rules, there's no spawn protection. There are land claims sort of, but not really. And then like, if you start on a new server, it's like whoever gets the shotgun first wins. They start leveling up their aiming skill. They level up. They are able to use rifles. As soon as they have a rifle with an 8x scope, no one can get within a mile of them before dying. It's just not well balanced. It's really not well balanced for player versus player combat. So yeah, like you could have PvP, but the average experience would be probably remarkably frustrating rather than enjoyable. Oh, you hear that thunk? Power's out. Power's gone. Now we are on generator only. But I have a generator on the roof, so we are fine. Yoda has like a hotspot that he's been messing with, so I'm trying to keep him from doing more harm. All right, updating the priority. Work towards building or covering the second story windows. Come on, I want to unsheet rope here. I'm trying to interact with the sheet rope, but I don't know where its right-click interaction spot is. Fine, I won't unsheet rope. You win. So the beauty of the Sledgehammer is it breaks everything. Like, just about anything that you can imagine you can break with a Sledgehammer. So I am going to equip it. And then you can right-click. Oh, there. Remove the escape rope. Now I can get the... and then you go to destroy. And R cycles what you want to destroy. And in this case, I want to destroy this here. Because what I can start to do is I can build a floor path now. So that I can walk out to these windows and cover them up with curtains. Which allows me to remove, or to prevent my base from being visible from the outside. It's a pretty powerful tool. And that's also true of staircases. So likewise, I could have grabbed the Sledgehammer and maybe I'll demonstrate that. Because that's kind of a... Every now and then, under the right circumstances with wooden flooring, you can remove the access to the second floor with a crowbar. But a Sledgehammer is the universal... I don't want zombies to follow me upstairs tool. So with the Sledgehammer, I can destroy this staircase entirely, making it impossible for zombies to follow me up. Now, there's a reason for me to keep it. There's a very advanced method of using staircases for terrain traversal, so I'm going to actually leave it in place here. But as you can see, I can destroy whatever the hell I want with the Sledgehammer, just about. So its primary uses, in my opinion, would be to remodel homes, removing walls that you don't want, or removing hand railings like I just did. Getting rid of just whatever you point at. Also breaking into gun stores, because a lot of the gun stores are boarded up in such a way that you can't get at them without a Sledgehammer. So if you have gun stores that are barricaded, Sledgehammer gets you in. But very powerful tool. as you can see. And I kind of wanted like an open floor here. This would actually not be a terrible place to just store all my vehicles. If I destroy the wall over here, I could drive all the way in and just have as many, really, like a ton of cars in all the floor space that's down here. But that's what it's for. Just bust them whatever you want to bust. In the case of these windows, I could even bust the windows, break them, and replace them with walls, and then, like, paint the walls, you know, whatever color I want with plaster and paint cans. So there's a lot of things that you can do with sledges in that regard. But I'm gonna put it away, because now I want to get the most bang for my buck out of building the platforms, which means reading the Carpentry book. Because the hope, the stretch goal or the hope is that I hit level 7, which I think is pretty easy to do. Carpentry, so that I can make the really big rain barrels. And that way I can not worry about using up water and do whatever I want with water. So whether that is wash my clothing, take a shower, make a lot of water-based soups or whatever, I'll have access to a remarkably big supply. Yeah, if we look out, the town's going to be dark now. In fact, the sphere of influence of the generator is pretty obvious now. This sconce light is on. This one is off. As you can kind of see the lighting differences. I don't want to get too close to the edge. But yeah, there's obviously a illumination here, but not there. So the generators are powering up sort of this area and no further. Are there any extra coolers on the first floor I can't move? No, I got them all. And then likewise, I don't think... Well, I guess we'll see tonight whether the generators get to these lampposts. There actually might be a case to move the generators to the corner over here, or close to the corner, if I want those light posts on. Because sometimes it's nice to have the area around your base to be illuminated. Makes finding and spotting zombies a lot easier. Cheers. Ah, meta events. That there is some trigger discipline. If I was in a zombie apocalypse, I'm not sure I would fire just a short burst. It would just be like panic, full auto. I'd run out of bullets and I would die. Well, that was a day well spent reading an entire... I went through an entire bottle of water and just read the expert carpentry book all the way through. Cover to cover. So Portabane, I'll show you how I made my base safe. It was a little bit different than the Sledgehammer. So if I come over here to the top of the stairs, wooden floors... If you go to pick up, you can remove the tiles and then the floors themselves with a crowbar. So if you see here, the staircase at the top, I have just removed all of the flooring here. So if zombies walked up, they would just fall back down to the first story. So there's no way to get from first story to second story because of the stuff I removed with crowbars. I could do it a little bit more elegantly with a sledgehammer. But, you know, if crowbars work, they work. Time for some yogurt and limes. I'll let it curdle in my stomach. What's my weight at? 78 and dropping? Oh, you know what? It's actually time for pint ice cream. Or gallon or whatever unit it is. 1,680 calories? Yeah, that's more than a pint. I would know. I eat a lot of ice cream. Ice cream. Ooh, I'm eating the whole thing. So what I'm going to be doing now, and I will probably need to grab my wood axe in order to get more wood planks, is to construct wood flooring so that I can get out to these windows. So it's going to look a little weird, but a catwalk where the second story windows are so that I can cover them. I think I'm out of planks now, yep. So then once I get curtains, I can cover these windows and then nothing can see in. Oh, that's a fall. Favorite flavor of ice cream in real life? I don't know. Maybe something with peanut butter, like a peanut butter cup type thing. But there's a lot of good ice cream. It's hard to say. And with the next volume of Carpentry done, once I'm done doing all of the catwalk construction, I can then circle back and watch all those woodworking tapes I obtained to try to get my carpentry up to level 7. So if I am going to be cutting down some trees for firewood, because I think that's probably the easiest way to obtain firewood at this point, I'm going to grab the wood axe and rope if I have it. Rope is a little bit lighter weight than sheet rope. I swear I've been looting rope. Oh yeah, 6 rope. There we go. Rope allows you to bundle logs together to make them easier to move. Thank you for tuning in to Rad's Guide to Project Zomboid, which originally streamed live on Twitch April 18th. If you have any feedback or questions for me, let me know in the comments below. If you would like to catch a live stream of mine, Rhadamant.com has my stream schedule and countdown timers to upcoming streams. If you would like to join my online gaming community on Discord, Rhadamant.com has a link to it, as does the description of this video. Thank you so very much for watching, and a special thank you to my Patreon patrons, Twitch subscribers, and viewers like you that support the channel and made it all the way to the credits. Thank you so very much. I hope to catch you next episode or an upcoming stream. Farewell, my fellow zombie survivors.